Capitol Hill today, more than a dozen Democrats in Congress are calling on the Biden administration to take action to secure the border, right? And we're joined by Chad Wolf. Here's Chad, the former acting secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. Thank you, sir, for coming on again. So a couple things here. The president has a letter from his own party. The Democrats are calling him out. But there's new reporting this afternoon from Axios that he might indeed be preparing some new asylum rules. Maybe he's about to roll that out as he hears from his own party on this. There's the reporting from Axios. What would you say?
Well, a couple of different things. One, I think what they're reporting on is certain executive actions that President Biden could take today to try to address what we see going on along that border. What I would say is great. We needed this about 3 years ago, frankly. That border has been in crisis for over 3 years. We've seen anywhere from 6,000 to 10,000 crossings each and every day. I'm not sure what changed here in the last 2 months for him to be considering executive action. The same circumstances, the same environment was there last year and the year before. So welcome to the fight. I hope you get in. I hope you do take some action. We've been encouraging the Biden administration to take all sorts of action. They have the most authority and can use it as quickly as possible to bring this under control. So that's point number one. Point number two, you mentioned a number of congressional Democrats writing the White House and saying, hey, now it's time to do something. I think what that tells you is that there is bipartisan frustration with the current situation along the border. And they are asking and they are begging President Biden to use his authority to address the crisis. You know, the White House and others have been trying to convince the American people that there's, the crisis, it hasn't been a crisis. They wouldn't use that word and that phraseology for years now. They've started using it this year. And so the question, again, I come back to is why and what has changed. And unfortunately, I think most Americans will say it's a presidential election year and perhaps they're doing this for political reasons. Well,
it's interesting you mentioned that, and we flashed up one of those letters. Maybe that is the reason that the president is pushing forward now. He's getting pressure from his own party. You saw that letter flashing up on the screen with some of these Democrats saying this is an untenable situation. I'm sure at the same time, there are many Democrats who would argue that they could have done something earlier if the Republicans had agreed to sign off on that Senate immigration bill months and months ago, right? So that was politics, too. So it's both sides playing politics. Is that fair?
Well, you could certainly argue that. Look, I looked at the Senate bill. I'm not an elected official. I will tell you that Senate bill would not have addressed the crisis. It was not workable. It wasn't run by operators or run by and had input from people on the border that understands how the border works. It created new programs that had never been tested. And so the idea of creating something new versus just kind of going back, whether it's the Trump administration or the Obama administration, and taking programs and policies that actually work, that have been proven in the field, and just implement those. Let's not recreate the wheel. I think that's what gave a lot of us pause. And one element of that bill basically took immigration judges out of the process of granting asylum and put it almost exclusively in the hands of asylum officers. And when you do that, you don't have anyone pushing back on those asylum claims. And we know that 85 to 90% of them are not valid claims. And so if you take those immigration judges out of it, you're going to see fraudulent claims starting to be approved. And that's not the answer to this as well.
All right. So let's grant your point that you made earlier. You're saying the president should have done something earlier about this, right? Yep. But he didn't. So we're here now. What would, if you were advising a current president that's sitting in office now, be the proper executive order to take now? In other words, the most bang for your buck that gets something done at the border that the president himself could do. What would be the one or two things you would suggest?
Well, I think there's a couple of different things that you can do, and you can use them in conjunction with one another. So it's not just one or the other. You could do them all at the same time. Probably first and foremost is you reinstate the Remain in Mexico or the migrant protection protocols, right? Which is to say, folks that want to claim asylum, it's okay to claim asylum. You wait in northern Mexico, you get paroled back into the United States to go to your immigration court hearings, and you try to do those within a matter of months, not the 5 to 6 years that we have now. So you get folks protection that they need. You could do what we call a 212F authority that the president has, which basically says I can turn those illegal migrants around at the border and remove them. Very similar to what they did under Title 42 during COVID. Because you would say that you have a national emergency going on at the border. The numbers are so overwhelming that that you have to do something extraordinary. And so 212F, in conjunction with Remain in Mexico, in conjunction with 4 or 5 other things, starts to turn the tide a little bit.
All right, we'll see if any of those things are, being considered by this White House right now. Chad Wolf, thanks as always. We appreciate your time. Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.